Hi, and welcome to Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. Today is the 4th of March, and we're celebrating life. We're celebrating struggles, and we're celebrating triumphs, and we're celebrating life and everything involved. Today, I have one guest, and she is going to tell us all about her book. She's an author, and she called me because she's a fan of Roscoe's. So any fan of Roscoe's is a fan of mine. We are hosted by Pitbull. Always, always, always. They are our sponsor. And it's a great drink. It's American Diabetes Association guaranteed, like they say, you can have this sugar-free drink. And then the military buys Pitbull for the troops when they're away and they're overseas fighting for our country. So we want to support Pitbull. It's the best energy drink out there. No one's gotten hurt or harmed from it. But it's not about Pitbull. Today it's about Gail Davis, who has a wonderful book that she's going to tell us about. And at this time, I would like to welcome Gail Davis.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate you guys for having me on the show. I feel so humble, so blessed, and so it's so honored. Thank you so much
You're
for having me on the
welcome.
show. Yeah, so I wanted to come on the show, talk about my book, talk about some of the struggles, because I know I'm not the only person that had these type of struggles.
Right.
I know there's been women, men, that have the same type of struggles.
Yes.
And in my book, which is called Not Afraid to Tell Who I Was, Not Afraid to Tell Who I Was, because I know who I am.
That's
I
right.
wrote the book because I had struggles in my childhood. Childhood abuse from my dad at 8 years old. I was raped, taken to a vacant house, and he raped me, choked me unconscious, and he basically left me for dead. He thought I was dead because I actually was unconscious till the next morning. So when I woke up, he was sitting over in the corner in a fetal position, and I guess he felt like he had killed me. But you know, he could. I'm here. So when he woke up, he said, I asked him, can I go home? And he said, yeah. So I got dressed, and I started walking home because it was right around the corner. He was in the military. He had visitation rights, and so he actually had sent my brothers back home the night before and said, oh, I'm taking Gail to a party with me. So not only was it a violation of my body and, you know, stolen virginity, but he actually he made me not be able to trust, you know,
Right.
because he said, we're going to a party. And so the whole time he said that we're going to a party, it's actually a vacant house, you know. And so we walking down the street, and I'm so excited, you know, I'm going to a party with my dad. I'm excited, you know what I'm saying? I'm the special one. So we get to the back of the house, the side of the house, and he flicking a cigarette lighter, and then I'm starting, okay, Dad, where's the people? Where's the music? I don't hear anything. He said, oh, it's at the top of the stairs. So then we get to the top of the stairs, there's a vacant house. And so that's how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, everyone went to a foster home. And you know, when there's abuse in the house, they split all the kids up and they take them to like either one or different foster homes.
Right.
So I went first to McLaren Hall, and then I joined one of my other siblings in the foster home after that. And then at 11, you know, he was arrested. My dad was arrested. He had the court case. I actually had to go to court and testify in court at 8 years old on my dad, against my dad. And so after the court case, you know, we went to the foster home. We got back with my mom. And after we got back with my mom, then her boyfriend did it at 11. Wow. And so, and because she said she didn't believe me, and I don't know why, because it happened at 8, so I know, you know, what it was. The boyfriend actually stayed in the house. He stayed in the house for another week, and he was able to threaten me, tell my mom that, you know, he said I was babysitting across the hall, and he came over there and he threatened, he said that you better go tell your mom that you're lying unless I'm killing everybody in the house. So these were the type of threats that made me not tell in the first place.
Right.
But when he said, we're on the show and hopefully, you know, but when he said every piece of Pussy, and this house belongs to me, I had to tell because I felt like then maybe he would try to harm somebody else in the house, you know, and I had other sisters. So I told my mom, and he's still in the house. So I'm like, okay, well, he's still in the house. So I'm not understanding. I don't know what to do now. And so even after that, we wind up going to another foster home. But like again, they took me to McLaren Hall because I was the one abused
But
at the
that's
time.
not a place for a child that's just undergone such a traumatic.
But that's where they take most kids that's like if they getting abused physically, mentally, sexually, any type of way, they go to McLaren Hall. Yeah, so yeah. And then while you're in McLaren Hall, you're disconnected from your family and you just been abused. So you really don't know how to respond, right? And so I felt like I just went into a shell, you know? And that's why even the book that has this little girl in the bubble, so to speak, I feel like that was me as a little girl, you know? Yeah, so then after that, it was so much to come, you know? So from that, because I didn't care and I didn't know how to care, I wind up getting on drugs. And so I was on drugs for 4 years. I was on the streets, smoking cocaine, jumping in and out of cars, you know. No, I was jumping in and out of cars, but I didn't care, you know, because I felt like my mother called me names. She called me, you know, well, we know the names, to be in the other word, we know. And she called me that, and my dad, I felt like he treated me like that, so that's what I became for a minute. You know, but it was for drugs. And so the reason why I'm so open and so transparent is because there's so many women and so many, even there's men that's been through childhood abuse. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much, it's so rampant. And then when people keep it a secret and they don't let it out, they act out in other ways. And so I acted out in a lot of different ways, you know. I was on the streets on drugs, you know. I had 4 failed marriages. I was a shooter at one time. You know, somebody messed with me. I had a little... I'm a shooter. Yeah.
Shut up.
No, yeah, it's serious.
Am I safe, y'all?
Well, no.
I'm just kidding.
It's in the book. You know, it's in the book. I put it in the book, you know, because seriously, it was self-defense. It was my Derringer. You know, so I became, you know, like I have to protect myself. I became one of these people.
And I would never get any of that from you, ever. I was like, oh, there's a sweet young lady that's going to come on. But these are the struggles. These are the obstacles that you had to go through. And it's all right here in this book. And we're going to talk about it some more. We're going to take a quick break. My, how time is flying. It's just the two of us tonight, so we'll be back. We have more to tell you about Gail. We are talking. I am enjoying Gail Davis. Before the break, she told me a few things, and I said pistol packing, book writing. She is one of those kind of sisters that you just wouldn't know. Don't mess with her, but she's got smarts, she's got the brains, and she's got the beauty. So tell me a little bit more about the... we don't promote violence. It's in the past.
Exactly. It's in the past.
But we are going to revisit it. So tell me about this, because I've always pictured myself, you know, with a gun, but I guess it can be very dangerous. And you said that you would.
Okay, yeah. Basically, You know, because I felt like I had to protect myself.
Yes.
I felt like I was a little girl when my mom did what she did. Because actually, when I was a little girl and when I did get out the foster home, my mother, you know, she physically abused me a little bit. But, you know, I know that she had issues and my dad did too.
Right.
So I did forgive him. That's one thing I want everybody to know. It's so important to forgive. So important, right? So, but when I say I was packing, right, and I was, you know, shooting at folks, you know, it was because I feel like I've been abused as a child, and now I'm grown, and I'm going to protect myself, and I'm not going to let nobody abuse me no more. So, you know, every time I did shoot at someone, it was in self-defense.
Right.
You know, so all of my baby daddies, they know, and, you know, another person, you know, they know, you won't mention, but they know.
Are they afraid of you now?
No, but they respect me.
Right.
They're not afraid of me, but they respect me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I had to protect myself, and it's like one of the situations I'll just, you know, share that's in the book. I was out one night and I was, you know, getting high, and so I actually got in a car with a guy, and this guy was like, you know, this is how, I'm just saying this to say how the enemy can actually trick you into believing that it's one thing, but it's actually something else. So this guy pull up, and he has a convertible Rolls Royce, and very nice looking guy and everything, you know, and he was like, okay, well, you know, what you doing? Of course, you know, I want to get high. So he was like, oh yeah, I got some get high, and, you know, he was like, let's get something to eat. Let's get something to drink, and let's do all of this stuff, right? So we go get all of that. We get to his West Side condo in Culver City, L.A., right? Culver City. And so we get to his house, and he said, you know, he have a little limp, but I'm not thinking nothing. You know, he had a little limp. And so he go get comfortable. He said, well, make yourself at home. I'm going to go get comfortable. And I'm feeling like, oh, I didn't hit the jackpot or something. I'm finna marry him. He gonna sweep me off my feet.
Right.
But you know, I'm getting high.
Right.
I'm dreaming crazy, right? So he go in the room and he get more comfortable. But he came back out, and you know, he didn't have legs.
Really?
His legs, it was prosthetic legs. So when he came back out, he was walking on his hands. And then, so, you know, I was feeling like I'm in the Twilight Zone. And, you know I'm getting high, but at the same time, I know that this man went in there, and he was a tall man. He's like 6'1" or 6'2", right? And he came back out, and so, you know, I instantly lost my high, and I'm running around the table, and he chasing me, you know, with, you know, like, no, please don't go, I'm not going to hurt you. But it wasn't about that. It was about, you could explain to me that you did not have legs.
That's not funny.
And it was...
It's just the way you tell the story,
but when I say this, you guys, it's because so many people, so many women out there on the streets, people don't understand the things that they go through.
Oh,
and
no,
people
I
don't
can
understand the
imagine
mentality. Like every time on the streets when I would go through something, I would just cry. I would cry, and I would go back to what my dad did. And I would almost like talk to him, although he wasn't there because he was deceased. Well, he was in Denver at the time. But I would talk to him, and I would tell him, this is your fault. You know, like everything I'm doing on the street is your fault. And Mom, yeah, it's yours too. But I mostly blame my dad because he was the head.
Right.
You know, he was the one supposed to protect me.
Right.
He was supposed to be my hero.
Right.
And he got me doing crazy things because he's the, you know, your father and your mother, they supposed to lead and guide and direct you.
Right.
And they directed me to drugs and streets and everything. And they influenced me, but then I still take the responsibility too that I was the one on the streets smoking drugs, getting in and out the cars.
Right.
So even though we have people that influence to do things, we have to take responsibility too.
So do you have trust for men now, or do you don't have trust?
Not really. I don't. And you know, although I've been married 4 times, and you know, I don't. I really don't.
Do you think you ever can?
Yeah, I want to, but then if you're not a trustworthy person, although I've been through things, if you're not a trustworthy person, it's hard for me to give you that trust, because everybody get a A+ trust at the beginning. Everybody gets that from me. But then if you start lying and being conniving and,
Right.
and you know, not answering your phone and doing different things, then I'm not going to trust you.
Right. You
Because
get an A+. I like that.
Yeah, I give
I'ma
everybody
steal
an
that
A
from
plus.
you.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, okay, because my dad did it, every man, because I don't believe every man is a
Right.
liar. I don't believe every man is deceiving. I believe we have some really good men out there in the world.
Right.
But, you know, men have to realize, too, that if you're a woman, that you actually have to secure her. And if she's insecure, you have to feed and cater to her insecurities.
Right.
You can't just say, oh, she catered to your insecurities, because men are insecure, too.
Right.
You know, if we cater to theirs, they have to cater to ours.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so we've gone pretty much through the timeline of
Yeah.
abuse at 8, abuse at 11, in the streets.
On
What
drugs.
what happens after that? Like, I want you to take
Get
us
to the
through that
good part.
journey and then get us to the shining light that you are today.
Okay, so through everything I went through, I actually started going to church. You know, I started going to church. So I've been to a couple of different churches, and I actually started going back to school. I actually started getting therapy and counseling, because it's so important for anyone who's been through this type of abuse to get counseling. Because if you don't get counseling, you're just basically hitting your head up against the wall.
Right.
Because all these triggers come up. And you never know what time or what's going to trigger,
Right.
you know, so all these different triggers come up, and you have to actually get aggressive with your healing process. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the process has been so long. It's been, and it's still going on. You know, it's still going on. But I'm at a point where I could actually talk to someone and tell them some different tactics, things
Right.
that you could do for your healing process. You have to, for me, I had to go to church. You know, I had to go to church. I had to, like, listen to some positive, good music or whatever,
Right.
some gospel. I had to actually, you know, learn how to love again. I had to pray and ask God to show me how to love, because I didn't know how to love, you know, and I have 3 kids. So, 3 children, because they're grown now. So I had to learn how to love them, but I had to ask God,
Right.
you know, to help me love my kids, because my mother and dad didn't love me, so I didn't even know how to love on my kids.
Right.
But you know what? They taught me. They taught me how to love, and you know, it's like good. Now I have 3 kids in universities right now. They're all in college. They're all grown, and you know, so I have like an empty nest type of syndrome
Aw.
thing going on, but it's not a bad thing.
Shout out to
because-
your kids.
Oh, shout out to Kim, Ricky, and Jaylyn, and I love you guys, and it's because of you guys that, you know, because of you guys, I'm here. I'm still here, because if it wasn't for my kids, I feel like I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I wouldn't have had a reason to fight, you know. And so because of my kids, that gave me a reason to fight. And see, now my kids, because they're in college and universities, and my daughter, when she wrote she's getting her master's degree in psychology, but when she wrote her term paper, she wrote about her mom. And she
Wow.
said that, Mom, you showed me how not to give up. You showed me endurance.
Wow.
And you showed me how to stretch, right? So it's still like a beautiful thing just to see that, and that makes me proud every day.
Wow.
And I just want people to know that even when you go through things as a child, you still gonna go through more things.
Right.
But you just have to be tough.
Right.
You have to be strong. You can't give up.
So-
because once you come so far, why would you give up?
So it seems to me that your parents taught you how to be a stellar mom, how to be a great mom,
They taught
and a
me.
role model. You know,
They taught
sometimes you
me.
go through a lot and then
Indirectly.
right, indirectly,
Yeah, they
and
taught
then
me.
you've taught your children and
Yeah.
worked hard, and
Yeah.
you have a degree also coming up soon.
Yes, I do. I'm graduating, getting my A degree in June. So I'm,
Yay.
yeah, you know, but like I said, my kids, they're really my inspiration. But I just love God so much for protecting me. He protected me on the streets, and not only, and because I love Him, I give back.
Right.
I go out to the streets and I minister to people
Wow.
like me, you know, and sometimes I'm able to talk to girls as, you know, maybe walking the streets or whatever, and let them know that, yeah, I did this before too.
Right.
You know, it's so funny. I was ministering to this one lady, and I was like, well, can I minister? Can I share, you know, what I've been through with you, right? She was like, well, girl, what can you tell me? You only like about, you know, I'm like 40-something years old at the time. And at the time, I was older than her. And so she thought I was like too young to to give her any
Right.
advice, right? So I was able to minister to her, and that's what I do. I just go out and plant a seed of love. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And spread God's love, because once we go out there and we spread that love, we gotta depend on God to do the rest.
Mm-hmm.
God, we can't do everything. We can go out there and spread it and just drop that seed. God gonna water it and He's gonna make it grow.
Right.
You know, into
That's
a
a
plant,
great
flower,
way to
or
look
whatever.
at that.
Yeah, He's gonna make it grow. And so I just want to let people know that don't think that the journey is tough when you're a kid. It's gonna get easier. And even when you come to God, it gets more safe, because He's there to protect you, but it don't always get easier.
Right.
It might get harder, because then you have an enemy that hates you too. Because see, the devil is real. You know, so when you come to God, then you have the devil trying to fight against you too, and then you have this past that you're trying to get past. You know, you trying to
Right,
overcome.
right.
But we're more than overcomers through Christ. You know,
Right.
I know I am, because I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be on this show. Even just meeting you and how we
Yeah,
met, it was
yeah.
so, you know, that was nothing but God to me. You
Yeah,
know.
I said, I don't know about selling books in front of Roscoe's, but we talked to somebody tonight that's going to let her sell these books in front of Roscoe's. So we're making it happen. I said, I don't know about that, but I know a radio TV show you can come on called Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. And
Thank
here
you
she
so
is.
much.
We'll be right back. We're going to take
Thank
a quick
you so
break.
much, Melissa. I
You're welcome.
appreciate you.
And we are back with Gail Davis. She's enlightening me and giving me some tips and teaching me that we should give everyone an A+ when we meet them at first, because it's a great way to
A+
start out
trust.
any friendship or relationship, and start out with trust and then let them mess up.
Yeah,
Right?
we started out with A+ in school, right?
Right,
And we,
right.
We might
Keep
take
doing
it
your
down.
work and
Yeah.
you'll keep your A+.
Keep your A+. Yes, cater to my insecurities, because
Right.
I cater to yours. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what made you write the book. Like, what was
caused
it?
me to write the book is I was actually going through therapy. I was going through therapy, and my therapist said to write down everything I see, everything I feel, everything that's bothering me, and that's what brought it alive. You know, I really just started writing for therapeutic reasons, and it really helped me. It helped me to get it out of me and start to live. You know what I'm saying? And in your writing, you will discover a lot of things about yourself that you really don't know.
Really?
You know, yeah. When you discovering things about yourself, it helps you to be more who you are. You know, it helps you to learn yourself,
Right.
you know, because it's a journey. All through life, we learn it ourselves.
That's interesting. I hear something in my head is saying, ask her. I have a burning question.
Okay,
Ask
I'll
her,
answer.
where do we find the book?
You can find the book on arthurhouse.com. And it's by Gail Davis. Not afraid to tell who I was because I know who I am. arthurhouse.com.
Arthur House.
And actually, it actually can be found on Amazon. And if you go in Barnes & Noble and you want to order the book, all you have to do is say Gail Davis, not afraid to tell who I was
wow.
because I know who I am. And they will order the book and send it to your house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but Arthur House, I promote them because they are my publishing company, and it's a good company.
Oh, good.
It's a good company. So I would I would advise anybody that's writing a book and they want to self-publish to go through arthurhouse.com.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was telling you that I have some friends. They're triplets. And they
Really?
want to write their story. They're pretty much identical. I can't tell them apart. Dwayne, Dewan, and Dwight. They should be coming on here soon, but they want to know how to write a book.
Yeah,
and I've been getting a lot of
if I
authors
can
lately.
get any type of advice, I always offer to give it for free because my book came hard. My book was therapeutic, and then it was just in a little piece of paper, and then it got typed, and then someone made the book cover for me. What was her name? She made the book cover for me, and it just came together.
Wow.
And then the colors mean something. Actually, I don't know if people know, but colors mean something.
Right.
The gold, all the different colors in the book, they all have different meanings. I don't, I forgot, but one of them means strong and enlightened and different things
Right.
like that.
Oh, cool.
So the color is important too.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and anybody who's writing a book, just be truthful and just be honest and just keep it real. Just write what you feel and write what really happened, because people don't want watered down stories and sugar-coated stories.
Right.
Because nothing was sugar-coated about what I went through.
Right. Nothing's better than the truth, especially when you live
Nothing's better
it.
than the truth. And when you feel it, you could talk about it with passion. And I really have passion for people that's been through what I've been through. That's why I wrote the book. And that's why, like, right now it's in a couple of prisons. I actually donated to some prisons because I just want people, because a lot of people in prison, they've been through the same thing and worse. And, it's very important to share your testimony.
And a lot of times I think people get discouraged.
Yes.
And they think, like, this is only happening to me. This just
Yes.
can't be happening to anybody else.
See.
And how am I going to get out of this? A lot of times people
See.
don't see a way out.
See.
But you can be the inspiration.
Yes.
And you can be the light
Yeah.
for other people.
I go out and I sell my books, and the reason a lot of people actually purchase my book, they tell me, is because they've been through the same thing. So far, I've sold over 200, but for Arthur House, I've actually purchased over 300
Wow.
books. Yeah.
Well, let's get it going. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. And so one day, hopefully, I'll meet Tyler Perry.
You
And
looking,
he
Tyler
will.
Perry?
Tyler Perry, I want to meet you. And if you read this story, Tyler Perry, you will do a movie about me.
Right.
Yeah, because it would be inspirational, because now it's not a sad story no more.
Right.
Now, I know who I am. I'm not saying I don't go through struggles.
Oh, yeah.
But, my kids, just to look at them and know that I came from what I came from, and look at 3 kids in universities right now from a single mama, that's God.
It is.
That's God, you know what I'm saying? And that's something to brag about.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because I went through hell to get to where I am right now.
Right.
And I still have struggles. My mom just passed on Thursday. She just passed. Last Thursday, when I say Thursday, when you said Wednesday, okay, yeah, let's do the show next Wednesday. Thursday in the AM, when it turned Thursday, we got the news.
Wow.
About my mom passing.
Wow.
And so in all week, it's been a lot of stuff. So it's like maybe it was meant for me to come on the show, and someone was trying to
glad
stop
you
me from
came.
coming on the show.
I'm glad you came.
I'm glad I came.
Because the
too.
way we met, like you said, was like,
It was God.
And then I was the one that answered the phone, because anybody else probably would have said,
Yeah, because you did
I don't
answer
know,
the
let
phone,
me-
Melissa. You
I was
really
working,
did.
I was answering the phone.
You answered the phone, yeah. And I really appreciate you so much because, like I said, I go out and I promote my books. And the only reason I promote my books because I want people to be healed. I want people
Yeah.
to be aggressive with their healing process. You know, you can't just be passive and be like, oh, woe is me. Okay, woe is me is okay for a minute.
Right.
Okay? But there come a time when you
Right.
have to get aggressive. You have to do the counseling. You have to do whatever inspires you to be better.
Right.
You have to do it. And you-
Especially when other people are depending on you.
other people.
Children.
That's it. And my kids were dependent on me, so I actually had to. I had to come out of it. I had to overcome. If I didn't overcome, what was going to happen to my kids? And now they understand what it means. Not like my daughter. She says I taught her not to give up. You know, and that's a beautiful thing when your kids are right. Oh, my mom is my hero.
Wow.
I said, Jaden, you were supposed to say your mom is your hero. My son even wrote about my mom is my inspiration.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, I'm a shero, but not a you know what I'm
You
saying?
did it right. You
yeah,
did it right.
Yeah, and then, you
Man,
know,
this
for
time
me,
is passing by so
I'm a
fast.
fisherwoman, you guys, so I do fish for the souls, for love, for God, you know, because I asked God, I said, God, why am I here? What is my purpose? Because you have to ask God. If you want to know your purpose in life, ask God what your purpose is. So I asked him, what is my purpose? He said, you fish well. And if I fish well and I'm a woman, I'm a fisherwoman. So don't nobody be trying to steal that because that's me. That's all me. Fisherwoman.
I was thinking
That's
about
all-
stealing. I was
no,
like,
that's all me.
I
Fisherwoman.
was like, let me write that down.
Yeah, it's in my book. I already secured
already
that.
got the
That's
copyright
me.
on it.
Fisherwoman. But yeah,
Fisherwoman.
when I say when God says you fish well, you know, that really made me happy to know that, okay, that's why my journey was so hard, because the enemy didn't want me to go out there and
You don't
fish.
look like you've been through a day's worth of trouble. Like you don't look like you lost 5 minutes sleep.
Wow, thank God for that. You know, because because one thing I will do, I will get it out of me. I don't harbor stress, and I don't harbor, things. I talk and I get it out.
And you said
And it's
something
all about that.
about forgiveness.
Oh, you have to forgive. 96, I actually got a chance to go make amends for my dad right before he died. In 94, God said, I want you to go make amends with your dad before he died. I didn't know that when I made amends in 96 that he was going to die a couple of days later.
Wow.
He died a couple of days later. I went to his bedside, and he was, in the hospital. I didn't know he was sick and dying. I hadn't saw him in years. And then I asked him, was he saved? He actually accepted Christ with me.
Wow.
And then a couple of days later, he passed. And I was like, Dad, I said, but I had to confront him first. I said, you know what, Dad? I must be here because you must have been praying. Because what you did to me almost killed me and took me out. But God told me to come to you. And so I came to him and I told him what he did. He said, oh, Daddy didn't do that. I didn't do that. Your mom and grandmother lied to try to, because they didn't like me. I said, look, Dad, let me tell you something. I know exactly what you did. I know everything you did. I was 8 years old, but do you need me to tell you everything that you did to me?
Right.
And he was like, he paused for a minute. He said, you know what? Daddy did rape you, and I'm sorry.
Wow.
But that sorry that he apologized to me, it's like this little girl spirit just like was set free.
Wow.
Because, yeah. And see, yeah, it was hard. It was hard because this little girl in the bubble, it's like so many people walking around right now in grown bodies, but their spirit never grew up. And it's because they've been traumatized as a child and they never been able to grow up, spiritually.
Wow.
Yeah, so my little girl's name was Angel when I was going through therapy, because people really have a little spiritual person inside. And if the person gets to grow up, then it's like your body grow, like your spirit grow. But if you go through all of these changes, and you go through trauma, your little girl spirit might stay and your body grow up. That's why you see grown people playing video games a lot. And you see grown people acting like kids because inside they really are kids. I'm not, look. The video
It's like, why you bringing me up?
Video games is okay, right? I'm not saying nothing wrong with video games.
Right.
But what I'm saying is some of the times the people that's playing video games and the people that's acting like kids. They really are kids inside.
Right.
They haven't grew up. Whatever trauma, whatever their age was, that's the age that they stayed at.
Wow.
They never grew up.
I'm learning. I love this show. I learn so much every week, and I take away so many good things.
That's nice.
And
That's
we're
nice.
going to take a break. Oh, my goodness, we are breezing through this. I can't imagine having have given you 30 minutes. We would have never, ever, ever finished talking. But we are going to finish when we come back. We'll be right back after this break. And we are back. I'm having a ball. I love my little job here. I love it. I love meeting new people and people that are doing great things and have great spirits. And I definitely have one of those people here with me today. Gail Davis is amazing. We met briefly over the phone, and we've pretty much connected a little bit before the show and definitely through the show. She's telling me a lot about herself, revealing a lot. She says she's transparent, and I can tell, and I'm learning a lot. So
thank you so much.
We're going to wrap it up. My God, we may go for 2 or 3 hours tonight. If we keep at this pace, we need to have some tea and some coffee, and well, I like Oreos, and have some Oreos and stuff like that. But give us where you are now and where you see yourself going in the very near future, and then give us all of your information. How do we contact you? How do we find you? And I mean, my God, you can really become a motivational speaker. I see that.
Really?
I see that you can be a motivational speaker, and it would mean a lot. So give us your information and put it out. Let's put it out there in the atmosphere.
Okay, my name is Gail Davis. I actually can be contacted at GADAX1@juno.com. But I'm going to give out my phone number, 661-575-4311. Anybody who want to contact me, just call me, and I'll be able to, because email sometimes, a lot of times I may not open them. But I just want to thank you so much for inviting me to come on your show. And I just pray that anybody out there that's going through a struggle or going through anything, seek out help. Whichever way you need help, seek it out, because it's so important. Because it's not just you that's in the situation. It's your loved ones. It's your children. If you have children, it's your sisters and brothers or your family, people watching you, neighbors. It's everybody around you that's watching you, and they watching how you go through. Right. So you can be an inspiration by just being a light, or just, doing, like people see me endure things. I have to keep enduring certain things. And I used to think like, okay, well, it's going to get easier. And not saying it don't get a little easier, but it's you got to stay tough. There's some people that's been chosen to have a hard walk. Right. I think I'm one of those people. But it's okay, because God said, I want you to have turtle skin. And turtle skin is real tough. Right. Can't be penetrated. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he's making me have tough skin. But it's so that's what God gives me. He gives me these little analogies. I was like, well, what do you want me to learn out of all of this? Why am I going through all of this? And he was like, I want you to have turtle skin. And turtle skin, we know is tough. Yes. That shell, it can be broken, So you have to have something that's inspired you. And my inspiration is God, my Father in heaven. He's my Heavenly Father. Not just my Heavenly Father, but He's also my personal Father. He's my inspiration. So I recommend that for anyone, recommend God to anyone, but however you do it. But the best way to me and the only way for me is through Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. That's the only way. That's the only way.
She's so smart and so pretty. And
Thank
she
you
has
so
a
much,
book
Melissa.
that we're able to read. My goodness. I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it because I've done talk radio shows, like I said, over the phone, but you actually had me on a talk radio show. All
TV
right.
radio.
TV radio.
We are here. Our fearless leader has created this medium, and well, he didn't create it, but he sure has put it out there for us. We have 44 shows here now, and Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 24/7, 365 days
Can I give a shout
a
out
year.
just to a couple of people that really didn't help me right? I
yourself.
really have a good friend that I used to work with. Batman Davis, he's like inspirational to me. He's been helping me through this time, talking with me. He's actually, doing good things with the kids. I want to shout out to him. But Chaz and Chuck, you guys are my brothers, okay? You guys came through for me this week on some things also. I mean, people have been supporting me, all of my family, brothers and sisters, all of my different churches that I've been attending, United Christian Fellowship, which is Zoe Ministry now, LPCC, which is Living Praise Christian Center, and The Way the Church. I have to shout out to my churches that helped me get through all of this, everything too. And all of my children, all of my God kids, my sisters and brothers, my mother in heaven right now. God bless you, Mama. You know you're in a better place. You're in a better place right now, and you're gonna, she's in a better place.
Right.
It just happened, but it's okay. So I just want to shout out to all my family, my nieces and nephews, my loved ones, my cousins, my Auntie Peggy in Denver, Colorado. Just everybody that know me and is connected to me. I want to give a shout out to you guys right now. Trudy, my sister, we go through our things, but she know I love her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest sister though. She try to act like she the oldest. I'm the oldest. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and
you better recognize Trudy.
So I'm just gonna say I'm a little bit smarter.
Right.
I've been through more, right?
Right.
Give me my props, right? But I love you though, right? My brother Wayne, my brother Billy, my brother Anthony, my sister Tracy, she going through a lot right now. We all going through a lot right now. We lost our mom, and everybody was really attached, but, I'm just keep it real, not me as much, but I love my mom like everybody.
Right.
We didn't have that special bond or that special relationship.
Right.
But God even told me about that because I had made her an idol. Not having a mother's love. Sometimes people make things idols and they don't realize it, So God let me know. I was like, God, take this from me, because I'm idolizing her. And he told me, he said, yeah, you made her an idol.
Wow.
And he said, it may have been unfair to you that you never received your mother's love, but it's unfair to me that you idolize any love over mine.
Wow.
So if we idolizing money, cars, people, things over God, it's not going to happen.
Right.
God say, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added. And he's a jealous God.
Right.
Because he should be. If you created something, when you get jealous, if this stuff that you created was idolizing other stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm your creator. I'm the one. But that's for me.
She's going to have to come back, y'all.
That's for me.
Because she's so good and so inspirational. And I've taken a lot of great analogies and illustrations from this conversation in this show today. I want to thank you for coming and sharing.
No, thank you for having me.
And sharing in the most intimate way.
Yeah, I don't know how else to be. I say in the book, I keep it real because it really happened. I don't know how else to be. I really don't.
You did an amazing job. An amazing job. I'm going to, I got a few things I want to do. I've been having the best guests that I haven't been doing my community events at the end of every show. And my goodness, I'm going to do a few and then we'll do some closing remarks with Gail before we go. But I wanted to start again with my community events. So today is the day. Susan G. Coleman, the LA County Race for the Cure 5K. It's a walk run. It's going to be this Saturday, March 7th at Dodger Stadium. Registration is at 7 a.m. And they're going to have a pink carpet ongoing. They're going to have a survivor parade lineup. Opening ceremonies will be at 10 a.m. The 10K line is they're going to line up at 8:30, and so on and so on. They're also going to have a kids in the stadium fun run at 10:30 a.m. So check out Susan G. Coleman, Los Angeles County Race for the Cure 5K walk/run. That's really important. That's one of the bigger walks, and there's Revlon and Avon too, but Susan G. Coleman is the one that everyone kind of associates with, and they get a lot of people out there. So let's go and support the folks who have survived cancer and who are undergoing it now, and who have loved ones who have passed away from breast cancer. The next thing I want to talk about is the African American military portraits from the American Civil War. Sometimes people try to forget we were certain places, but we were there.
Yes.
And we were intricate, and we were a part of history. We are a part of history.
Yes.
This is going to be held between January 20th, 2015 to April 4th, 2015. It's at the Central Library. Oh, did I say library? Library. The Central Library. The Getty Gallery. And the address is 630 West 5th Street, downtown Los Angeles. And this is going to be super interesting to go and see these pictures and to share and go back into time and see what our forefathers who fought so hard for our country, what did they look like? I mean, they weren't even treated very well either, but they were there and doing the best that they could and did a darn good job, if I can say so myself. The next thing is Food Fair, F-A-R-E, is the most, Gina got this for me, my assistant did it, and I didn't read it before. Eclectic fundraising food fest you've ever heard of. So this is fun. It says there are only a few events per year that manage to convince a sizable number of LA's top restaurants to come together under one roof and serve their most popular dishes. So this is going to be a big event, and it's going to be hosted by some of the most prominent chefs, caterers, wineries, breweries, and vendors. And they're going to partner with Planned Parenthood and their supporters at its food-centric fundraiser. This is going to be held Thursday, March 5th, that's tomorrow, at Barker Hangar, 3021 Airport Avenue, number 203 in Santa Monica. Tickets will be $175 at the door for a daytime session and $275 for an evening session. They'll have people like Salt's Cure, Boneyard Bistro, Little Beast Restaurant, Chicken Itza, and Mexi Kosher. So they're going to have a lot of great, Boa Steakhouse is going to be there. They're really good. Jamaica's Cakes, Sweet Lady Jane, and more. There will be 100 local chefs there as part of this fundraiser for Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood's on my short list, my radio bucket list. So I got to get Planned Parenthood in here, and we're going to talk about some things. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Abilities Expo. This expo is going to be held this weekend between March 6th and March 8th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. If you have someone that might need some of these leading products, state-of-the-art technology, then you'll want them to come here. Maybe different types of wheelchairs, or how you would get your wheelchair into a van, or anything that makes our friends and family and loved ones that are disabled, it makes life a little bit easier for them. So check this out, LA Convention Center this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I also wanted to speak about LA's council's newest representative. This gentleman won the race. He was running against my friend, and he won. So congratulations. And my friend Forrest C, she had a great run. This was for Marquise Harris Dawson. He won the seat for LA City Council outright on Tuesday. So I think his percentage was over 60-something% because I looked it up. So this is the face of one of your newest councilmen. He is taking over for ex-Chief Bernard Park's seat. So this is who we're looking at. I heard, and then I read, and then Gina looked it up for me, of course, that she does so well. Thank you, Gina. Congratulations, Los Angeles. You had the lowest voter turnout in any county in Los Angeles, in California, during the November 2014 elections. Folks, we got to get out and vote. There are too many different ways that we can vote. You can vote absentee. You can go early. You're allowed in most cases to even go during work or your lunch break, or to leave early, or to come in a little bit late. We have to get out and vote. Our forefathers, especially us African Americans, fought so hard for us to be able to vote. So I think it's important that we vote every single time. Make yourself aware of the initiatives that are on the ballots, because sometimes things get passed and you're like, well, how'd that pass? I didn't know about it. Let's keep ourselves educated on the things that are going on in our country, in our state, in our city. Let's stay abreast of these things. When you have 4,000 people vote in a major election like the one yesterday, that's not really so good. So we want to make sure we get out and vote. Absentee voters, let's do it. When you move, re-register. When people are outside to sign ballots, don't just walk past them at the grocery stores. Stop and see what it's talking about, because those things get passed, and then people just wonder why and how and who did that, and I had no idea. January 1st comes around and all these new laws are implemented, and everybody wonders, how did it get past them? Because we're just going through our lives and we're not paying attention to the things that are going on, and these things are passing right under our noses and we don't even smell it. Garbage, trash, whatever it is, we don't even smell it. We're not even aware of it. So we did pretty bad, LA. We need to start voting. We need to start voting. And I think that's it. I'm going to let Gail have a closing remark, and then I'm going to say adios till next week. We have like 2 minutes. Go, Gail, go.
Closing remark. I just want to say I have the most wonderful son-in-law in the world, Rolando. Thank you for taking care of my daughter. And I also want to say, just be aggressive. Be aggressive with your healing process. Don't be passive. Don't just sit there and say, you know what, it'll go away. No, it's not going to go away. You got to get it outside of you. Just like a pregnant woman is in labor and she has to go through the labor pains to push the baby out, you actually have to go through the labor pains of pushing out all of the mess in your life so you can get yourself better, so you can get everybody else around you better, because it's not about you, it's about everybody else too. And sometimes the things we go through, it's not about us. We go through it so we can help somebody else later on in life. And I just want to say thank you out there for everybody in Tyler Perry. If you know, maybe you're going to do the book, but maybe someone else is going to do the book too. So anybody that might want to do an inspirational story, please contact me, 661-575-4311. I want to say thank you to Roscoe Chicken and Waffle. So, because I love Roscoe Chicken and Waffle, and because I went to Roscoe Chicken and Waffle, I'm here talking to you right now. And thank you guys so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough said. I'm going to say until next week. We have Herb Wesson Jr., who was elected again last night, and we have Dr. James R. Culpepper. He is a Hall of Famer in the karate world. He's bringing some friends with him next week. We're going to be back. I'm off to New York tomorrow, so I'll see you when I get back to LA. Bye-bye.
From the truck in a single bound, mommy, I'm trying to blame you down. So niggas without shades on can't stare when I bring you round. She put her lips on the weed and pull it to work her tongue and make me come faster than a speeding bullet. Her love stronger than a locomotive, but only for the FABOLOUS. Sing to me, ma.
They can't play no more. I'm here. See me? Got the F on my chest. What up? Making the girls like me. No, take a girl like me to get a guy like you to understand. Our girls ain't the same. I'm not your your average chick, 'cause they can't do it like this. I've been sent to save your day, and things won't be the same.